Hi, I'm Doranne. I met Joe through Pinewood Archers, and I've been watching his adventures building bows with his whole group of friends through archery. Decided to join the Cool Kids Club, and also I do some archery with the medieval reenacting group, and what better way to do that sort of archery than with a self-made bow.
And we're going to do a layout. I can hold it next to you and take a look, all right? And what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you how to put a layout on it, and you're going to use a draw knife and take it down and make a bow. But I'm going to stop it here, and what we're going to do is measure your draw length so we can determine what size bow we're going to get for you.
Okay, great.
Okay, we're going to check Doranne's draw length. Now, I shot with Doranne too, like I did Jimmy, and I trust her, and she's going to draw, and she's aiming inside my garage where it's safe. And what she's going to do is she's going to check her stance. She's going to come back and touch her anchor like she's going to shoot a 10 ring, okay? And then what we did is Gary Lauren on Facebook said, oh, I put a paper clip on not a paper clip, what do you call this?
Clothespin.
A clothespin. That's it. Gary Lauren says, I put a clothespin on the end of my arrow, and when I pull it back, I don't have to mark nothing, and it slides. I said, oh, that's great. That's a great idea. I said, I actually have a draw length over the arrow. I says, I had a couple of them over the years. So we're going to try that with Doranne. You got your stance, and you're comfortable, and you come back and touch your anchor. Oh, oops. Okay, I'll worry about this. You just come back and touch your anchor. Okay, how does that feel? Good?
That feels good.
Okay, let down. And we're going to see what it says, and then we're going to do it 2 more times to see if we come back to the same thing. $26 3/4. So we're going to do this a couple times. I want you just to move around a little, your stance, restand, like you're walking up to a target. You're going to stand, comfortable, okay? You're going to draw back, touch your anchor. That's your anchor, you comfortable?
Yes.
Same thing every time, okay. See, so you thought you had a longer draw length, a little shorter. And what we have is we're going to go with 27.
Okay.
Okay. So now to get the length of the bow, we double your draw length. Okay. So that's 27 and 27.
54.
54, and then we're going to do like an 8-inch handle.
62.
62, and then we're going to add 2 inches.
64.
But we're going to make a 66-inch bow so you have a little bit of leeway.
Okay.
All right. Now once we make this bow and we tiller it out, you know we got some guys there with these really long gorilla draw lengths, right?
Right.
You got to make sure you guard that bow with your life and tell them, you can't pull it back. I don't even want you to touch it. And if they say, oh, I won't pull it back all the way, say, no, you're not going to pull it back at all. Because if we adjust it for your draw length, you get some guy with a real big draw length, he's liable to crack it on you, and that'll be the end of the bow. Okay? Okay. So we're going to lay it out next. Okay. So when I met Doranne, she was shooting right-handed. But she went to a bow hunter's workshop, right? And
about 2 weeks ago.
And then that's where she found out that really her eye dominance, I never checked her eye dominance, is she's actually left. So what do? You eat?
I use a fork and I write with my left hand, but everything else, whether it's golfing, batting, throwing a ball, I have always used my right hand. Yes. So I'm just confused.
So make that little diamond like I told you at my nose. Look at me. All right? And now you're staring right at it, right?
Right.
You can close it a little smaller even. Good. Now pull it right back to your face. And look where it went. It went over her left eye. So she's left eye dominant. Okay. The other thing is wink at me. Okay. They kind of both go at the same time. It's like she uses both eyes. But that was it. So she's a lefty, and we're going to make a left-handed bow for her. Okay. Which is cool. So now we're going to lay out the bow next. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to look at this, right? Now this looks pretty straight, right?
Yeah.
And then what happens over here?
It gets a little wave in it.
And then it goes down. It really twists a lot, right? So we're going to make a 66-inch bow, and we're looking down here and seeing if there's any real weird knots that we have to avoid. But it's a fairly clean piece, right?
Looks it to me.
Yeah, there's really nothing that we have to really worry about. So we're going to go down up here 66 inches. Come on down. And you're going to mark 66 inches. All right. And mark the other side.
See?
Yeah, there you go. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this really bad twist right out of there. We're going to eliminate it. And then what we're going to do is lay out a center line with the grain, and we're going to go 3/4 on each side. So, okay. So Doranne actually has experience using a chainsaw, and she marked it, and she's going to cut off the end. And what I always do when I cut this piece off, after you know we're done with the bow, I will take it and cut a block about this big, and I'll put the date and the person's name on it, and a fire hardened hickory bow. So this will be like a little paperweight, a desk weight, or a little memento to hold of the bow that we made, okay, or she made. So, all right. So remember, put it against here, and you know, off like this here, right up here to there. So you know, you catch the teeth on, but pick it up off it.
Right.
But that's how you're going to go, and then you're going to cut it off. So go ahead, let it rip. There you go, right there. Good job. That's it. Perfect, actually. Perfect cut.
Just a little to the side of the markings.
No, it's perfect because we're going to taper the limbs. Absolutely perfect. We're going to taper the limbs, and then we're going to shape the tips. It's absolutely perfect. Okay, so we're looking down this stave here, and this is pretty straight. This edge is a pretty straight edge on this side, and we have plenty of wiggle room. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some marks 3/4 of an inch here off the end, and 3/4 of an inch off the other end, and 2 more in the middle, and we're going to see, maybe we'll run a chalk line down for a center line, and then we'll be able to go off that chalk line. So just take 3/4 off the edge here and mark it. Good. And then we'll do like 2 here, you know, one there, and we'll do one down the other end. And the stave, you know, has a little wiggle to it. It's not perfect, but what we're trying to do is when we get the chalk line, we're going to put a chalk line down, and we're going to eyeball the chalk line with the edge, and then you know we can move it a little if we have to. You know, this isn't like a precise measurement. It's just an idea for us to get the center. Good.
Okay.
Anyway, we put the chalk line like 3/4 down. It's okay if we have a little more. We got plenty of wiggle room. We're just trying to see how it lays out with the marks you made. So here's the marks. You see the marks? Mm-hmm. Okay, it looks pretty good or what? Look down at the marks.
Nope. Actually, it's about 1/4 inch off there, 1/4 inch off
Which
there.
way? Which way?
It's this side of the line.
Okay, I'd rather have more space
Okay.
than not enough, because we got plenty of material, okay?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So now, how does it look down that end? You can let go. How does it look?
Fix it. There we go.
Yeah?
That's good. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now we're going to lay this down here, right? And pick it up and snap it. Okay? See? Good. Now we're going to just check it out. We're going to go down the whole length and make sure we have plenty of material on the side. And then what we're going to do is mark another 3/4 on the other side.
Okay.
And then we're going to connect the dots. All right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, now she's measuring off the center line 3/4. And then she's going to connect the dots with that metal ruler, metal yardstick. Okay, so on a draw knife, it's beveled, and we're going to draw the wood with the bevel side down, okay? And we're just going to scrape it along. You see how the curls come off?
Right.
And if we had a big flat piece, let's say you were taking the meat off the bottom, you would go like this down to the line a little bit, do the other side down to the line, and then take the middle, because it would be too much to take all that wood off.
Right.
Right? So here we go, and you're going to look at the line over here. You see how much room you got? Mm-hmm. Okay. Start go and then pull it towards you. And there you go. See the curls coming off, the nice curls? Okay. Do you like doing it? It's a little hard work, right?
Oh, it's definitely hard work, but it's the way they would have had to do it back in medieval times.
Yeah. Well, the Native Americans would use stone tools and axes, and there we go. If you get tired or whatever, let me know. Okay. Doing really good. And you get a workout.
I'll sleep good tonight.
You definitely will, right? And you can go down a little more if you come in a little further. Just a little bit more. There you go. There you go. Let's go right to the end here even. Because this is so thin, we want to develop the edge here and go down to the line like you're doing. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to trim it out, okay? We're going to make a side profile after we get it down to the front profile. Okay, and then look at the line and see if there's a little more higher spots, and you'll work that area a little bit more. Doing good. Okay, now that we have this brought down to the lines, what we're going to do is we're going to mark 5/8 for the limb to come in. But tell them what size bow you want, how many pounds you like.
I'm looking to get between 25 and 30.
Right, so it's going to be, we're going to spend some time on the sander after we're done, the belt sander, after we rough lay it out, and she's gonna take down some material. We're gonna get it flexing pretty good before we fire harden it. So this is a useful tool I got on eBay, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a little line and check it, and we're gonna try and get this 5/8. So
yep,
it's 5/8. It stayed the same. Just make sure it's nice and snug. And what we're gonna do with this is, even though this is a little twisted, we're going to follow this profile all the way down and put a mark with the exception of where the riser is. I'm going to just put a couple of quick marks where the riser is.
So we've marked off the side profile of the bow. It's actually beginning to look like something more than a piece of wood.
Right, and we made it 5/8, so there's plenty of wiggle room. Okay, and we're going to do one more thing. We're going to do is when we lay it back down, we're going to taper the ends down to make the tips narrow. Looks good, right? Did a good job.
Okay, so we've got the bow basically shaped. Because we're going for a 25-pound bow, Joe decided to narrow the width of the limbs down here to 1.25 inches, and we've got them tapered down to 3/8 at the end. It's looking pretty good so far.
Yeah, now you're going to do some sanding and floor tillering, getting the bend, and we're going to put it on the jig that we're going to fire harden it on. Okay?
Okay, great.
Time to get busy. Coming along.
Okay, so we're pretty much at the end of our first stage of this bow building. We've shaped it, cut it out of the stave, shaped it, sanded it, have all our edges smooth, have our edges, our sharp edges rounded off a little bit. The limbs are 1/4 inch wide, 1 1/4 inches wide and 3/8 inches at the top. Sighting down, it looks pretty good. There's a little more processing that needs to be done because there is a little bit of twist in part of this limb here. That'll be taken care of in further processing the next time.
Once we put it on this backset jig tonight and you heat it up, that'll take care of that twist.
Oh, okay.
And then what we'll do is you're coming over Friday, right?
I'm coming over Friday.
So then you're going to fire harden that.
Right.
And once we fire harden it, it's going to be perfect.
Awesome.
All right?
Excellent.
And we're going for 25 pounds.
25, right.
So that's why we went a little thinner and a little tape it a little more, and the limbs are a little thinner, and it's going to work out good.
Soon enough, I'll have a nice handmade bow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Heat treating with the heat gun. They get it to conform for the jig. And then later on I'll switch the clamps and we'll be set for Friday for fire hardening with that particular jig.
Okay, so we heat treated the bow, straightened out the little bit of twist that was in the limbs, and we changed the position of the clamps a little bit.
We turned them 180 degrees so they're out of the way for fire hardening, right?
Okay, so we're going to be getting ready for fire hardening, which we're going to do 4 days from now. In the meantime, I'm putting a little bit of moisture back into the bow by using a wet rag, and the process will continue. Yeah,
it's going to sit inside and acclimate to the moisture of the room, and we're just giving it a little jump shot here. All right, we're gonna get it wet and put it inside. All right, you did good. You did really good.
Thanks, Joe. Couldn't have done it without you. Hi, Doranne here again. So we're back at Joe's, getting ready to fire harden my bow. He's got an incredible rig that he's worked up here in building his technique over the various bows that he's done. We're going to be monitoring the heat on this for about 2 to 3 hours, and eventually we hope to have this bow turn a nice dark brown and it'll be all fire hardened.
Okay, light it up. And once you get it to catch, just jump right down to the middle because it'll follow you pretty quick. Okay, we're going to let these coals catch. Important equipment. Get these heavy fireplace gloves. They're a necessity, because once we start cooking and we want to move this will grab it. You'll be able to move it. Okay. I mean, this is a real important piece of equipment. The stick. The stick knocks the coals. We got them higher on the end because the jig goes up where the riser or handle is. We're going to keep it kind of low under there, but try and brown the fade out, so it's always manipulating the coals to achieve what we want. Okay, and then I'll show you later how we tell if it's the correct height. Meanwhile, this is going to take a while to catch. All right, we're good?
We're good.
So we have a 10:30 start time, and it's 10:45 now, and the coals are pretty much caught. And we're going to just check the heat. We don't want to overcook it, and the way to do that is you adjust it so you could put your hand underneath. 1, 2, 3, and that's about all you could do. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and it's hot for me. 1, 2, 3. And Doranne is tougher than me, I guess. I guess she's tougher than me because she can hold it over a little bit longer. So, but
yeah, I make it to 4.
She makes it to like 4, but I think so. We got it. Go ahead, show them how you're doing it. 1,
2, 3, 4.
Okay, and then let me watch. 1, 2, 3. I want to take it out because my hand feels like it's going to go on fire. So we got it, and we're going to let it cook, and we're going to check it every 15 minutes. And we already, after 15 minutes, and the coals weren't really done, the coals were still catching. We had it up a little higher. It's just ever so slightly turning a little color. So we'll check back 15, 20 minutes, and we'll keep updating, right?
Right.
Until it's cooked.
Until it's cooked, until you say it's done.
Okay, now that it's been going for a little bit, what we're going to do is just going to grab the clamp here and snug them up, because the wood, believe it or not, is shrinking already, and we just want to make sure that they're snug. Is it moving a little bit or not yet?
That one did. This one didn't.
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Not yet.
A little bit, right?
A little bit.
Right? So that's what we're going to keep doing, and we're going to keep checking because they will shrink up. They will shrink up as the moisture comes out. But it's looking good. Okay, now we raised it, and it's 11:08 or so, and we wanted to just check around, especially around the handle, the riser, okay? And it's actually browning very nice. I actually removed coals from around here. So they're just on the end here, and it's starting to brown. Not quite to the ends, and I'm going to just stop this here and I'll take a video and show you. If you look, the fade outs are getting colored. They're getting a nice brown color to them. Okay, try this again. And as we go to the end, okay, we got that brown coming up to here, and it's starting to turn color, but the tips need more. Okay, so let's check the other side. We got a little lighter brown on this side. Okay, and we're going to put it down, make our adjustments, and right, and what do you think? Make our adjustments, and then it'll be fine.
Definitely. I'm also actually seeing a little bit more daylight up between the bow and the form.
Yeah, so that means we're going to have to tighten them.
Hand.
Once we put it down, you're going to tighten the clamps again, okay?
Right.
All right. Okay, if you look at the coals, you see there's like white ash on them. So if you get that stick, come down here by me, and I'll show you. I'll just show you this a little bit here. Look, you see I'm knocking them around.
Okay.
All right, and you see the ash is settling down below. That's why we have the tinfoil sprinkled up. All right, so everything came. We're knocking all the ashes off. You can knock the rest of them off. Just go back and forth, and kind of leave them where they are. Just knock them back and forth so the ashes fall down. And what we're going to do now is just take a little more charcoal and put a few pieces of charcoal on just to keep it going. Not a lot, just a little bit. Like here on the ends, we know the ends have to catch more. But over here, not so much, but we still want to keep it going. Okay? So we'll just put a little bit there, a little there.
Okay, so we added some coals, and we're letting them heat up. We are going to bring the bow down closer to the coals again, but not so that the bow doesn't get cold, but we are not going to take it all the way yet.
Just until the coals catch. We're going to give it like about 10 minutes, and then we're going to set the correct height again. Okay, so we have it lowered, but yet it's not fully lowered. But looking at the contour of the bow, we added coals to kind of match the contour. And once they catch a little more, we're going to pay attention to the heat, but it's not ready to adjust yet, you know, with your hand. Once it, you know, so we'll give it a little time. Once those coals catch, then we're going to watch it really careful and lower it. But the process has begun, and it's nice that it's browned in. It's getting nice and brown by the fade outs, which is a good thing.
We've lowered the bow into cooking position. We've checked the temperature. It seems to be right about where it should be. I'm down at about 3.5 in my count now, and so we're going to let it go another 15 minutes and check it again.
Like I said, she's tougher than me. My 3 count is there, her 3.5 is there. All right, good job. Okay, so what we did was we moved the clamps over like an inch or so from the original spots, just to get the heat to color the white spots where the clamps were. And you know, I really don't think it matters because it's that temperature all around the clamp, but we want it to aesthetically look correct. So there we go. And you can see we put extra coals on the ends, and it's coming along. Okay, Doranne, I'm going to test it with my hand. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Seems to be even to me. See, it's a little hotter here, right? So we remove some coals. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. The end should be browning because, you know, because you move the coals around, and it feels good, right? You want to check it?
This end actually is picking up starting to pick up a little bit of color.
Check
this
that
one
in.
is still very light. I did move actually while you were inside. I moved a couple of coals
good.
But it's still very light.
Very light. All right, we got some more time to go. It's actually 20 after 12, so we got plenty of time. Right? Looking good.
Right.
Okay, it's 12:25. She's checking the clamps. They're going a little bit, right?
Clamps are tightening just a little bit, so that means the wood is still shrinking.
Good, we're doing good. It's coming along, right? Okay, it's 12:40. I raised it up. What do you see, Doranne? I'm going to take the video camera in a minute and show everybody, but what do you think?
Everything's looking pretty good. It does fade out to a much lighter brown on this end. On this end here, we're just starting to pick up a little bit of color. We might need to figure out a way to get that cooked a little bit more.
And how is it by the fade outs? The fade outs are brown?
They're brown. Everything's brown.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, I'm going to stop it here and then show with the camera. Check out the nice browning. See the nice browning from the fade out? It's going down, and it's a little lighter here. We're going to work on that. We're going to work on it. We got time.
Well, the clamp was right over that area too.
Yep. And we come down over here. Check this out, this side. Browning on the fade out. It's a little darker brown over here, and we got to get the end a little bit. Overall, it's very good. I think it's real good.
Okay, so it's 1:35. The bow has been cooking for just a little over 3 hours. We've got browning along the entire length of the bow, although it is lighter at the tips. The time is not really the important factor. The color of the bow is. We're going to be taking this off the fire now and letting it cool down a little bit, and then we'll show you what the color of the bow looks like.
Right, we're going to put it on the table to give you a view, and then we're going to let it cool, and we're going to have lunch. And then we'll come back to it.
Okay, okay, so after finishing cooking at 1:35, we've taken the bow away from the fire. We cleaned up our work area. You can see along the length of the bow, we've got nice browning going on. And we're gonna go have lunch and let the bow cool before we take the clamps off. Okay, so the bow cooled. We removed the clamps, and it has conformed very well to the backset jig. Here we go. We set it up that way.
Got a nice back
See
set.
the nice curve that we've got set in it. We've got nice coloring from the fire hardening all the way from tip through the fade outs, the riser, fade out, the other tip. So our next step is going to be tillering and hopefully some shooting.
Yep.
Let's see how the bow performs.
Did good. Great job. Awesome job you did, all right? And then when are we coming back? Monday?
Monday.
Okay, Monday will be part 2. We'll be tillering, shaping, and hopefully shooting. All right?
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks for watching, all right? Did a good job. All right? Watch my other videos on Bare Bow Joe. Just a quick little addition. Now that it's done, it's cooled, and we have this beautiful back set and all. We're gonna put moisture, introduce moisture into this. We got a wet rag, and we're gonna get it nice and wet and go over it, and then I'll probably do it one more time tonight. And this way it'll help gain some moisture as when I put it in the house, it'll acclimate to the moisture in the room. And this is like a little jump start, all right? We want to make sure there's moisture in the bows. We don't want a tiller with 0. We want the tiller with some moisture in it. So, how to add that on, just wanted to show you. All right, have a good day.